go to make trouble because my mother was very much concerned when I told her I'm going to become the shop steward of the bank. And she said, no, you're going to get taxed. I said, no, mommy, we're going to work together. The bottom line is what we did at the bank is that we established a committee that it wasn't just one person at first, but then afterward it became one person, that we did, before the matter becomes a mountain, when it's a molehill, as they say, you deal with the matter there in its infancy, so then we don't have it escalating so much. So you always have dialogue. And I think that's the key thing here. Communication is very important when it comes to union matters. That once there's open lines of communication, very important. And I think Royal Bank was good in that sense that they were open to it. Of course, they were against it first, but then once we opened and I guess the personalities that were there realized that, hey, we have to work together just to make sure that the organization move forward,
Now, it's amazing that these stalwarts, the forefathers that came before us, they would have fought the grueling fight to secure many of the benefits that we take for granted today. What do you have to say to a younger generation that, as I said earlier, that takes these benefits that we have for granted, and because of this, they probably are not in a position to really appreciate the value of the unions and the role that they continue to play in our everyday life?
Well, you have to remind them. You have to point out and show them the historical data, what happened, the transition. Because, so most persons, I guess how history is told in Antigua is told very fragmented. Some persons would have thought it started with VC, then everything adult suffrage and everything, and then after the sugar factory, then everything was hunky-dory. No. There were struggles, and there continue to be struggles every day. And then what happens now is that business places, business owners try to erode those benefits little by little because the young generation don't have that appreciation for the struggle. And the struggle is real. It's not a struggle that maybe that we'd have heard about years, centuries ago or so, that persons died and that kind of stuff. But then it's a struggle that persons, the meeting of the minds, and that persons have to understand that we have to always keep the person's feet to the fire. And, I've been fortunate enough that I've gone to some regional conferences and so forth, and you interact, you think that you're alone in your struggle here in Antigua. But then when you check with the region, your friends in Grenada, in Bahamas, in Jamaica, in Dominica have the same struggles. And you have to realize you have to band together. That's what solidarity is about. So you learn from another man's struggle, another man's plight, and then you said, hey, let's be creative and let's find a way. The young people just have to open their minds and not be guided by sometimes the speakers of the day and just think that what they say is what it is. Because even the speakers of the day benefited from the struggle of this union, Antigua and Barbuda Workers Union, because they were officers, they were shop stewards themselves of this very union, and they fought the struggle. But sometimes when persons reach certain positions, we forget about the struggle,
And I like what you hinted